All right. Thank you very much. So, as Mark said, my name is Dan Shepherd, and I'm the Managing Director of Can Do Laundry Services. Feel free, as you can see on the TV, to connect with us on social media. I'm a firm believer of social selling and essentially connecting with as many individuals as I can via any network. You can see on LinkedIn, you can find me at Mr. Dan Shepherd. Can Do Laundry, you'll find a Can Do Services. And if you want to see what we're all about, just go to candolaundryservices.co.uk. So, I've kind of been invited today. Last year, in November, we won the national award-winning, we became a national award-winning commercial laundry company within the UK. Now, how do we do it? What do we do? Well, that was exactly why Mark wanted me to come and talk to you guys today, and essentially try and share a couple of my tips and tricks and see if you can take anything away from it, really. So I'm going to start to where we are today, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how I got there and what was involved. So to date, we are the only national award-winning commercial laundry in the UK. In Wales, apologies. The only national award-winning commercial laundry in Wales. We are part of an accelerated growth program run by NatWest. We become nationally award recognized across from our customer service, from the level of quality that we provide all around from our linen. It's an array. So to date, we're actually on track to hit £1 million worth of revenue. We employ 15 members of staff in Port Talbot, South Wales. We have been in the industry for the last 3 years alone. I have no previous experience of laundry or linen at all. It was very much a fresh perspective. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. In what? I couldn't tell you, but I found it, and it's essentially laundry. So we currently process 50,000 items a week. We've just relocated back in September down to the Port Talbot site, allowing us to increase our capacity by 600%. We invested £250,000 in new machinery, redeveloped our processes and procedures, and essentially made us who we are today. We have a fleet of 4 vehicles. As I said, we employ 50 members of staff. So I'm going to talk about the journey, essentially, how I got there, and if at the end of the session, and if anybody wants to answer me any questions, that's absolutely fine. So, the beginning. Now, you can't laugh. There's a picture coming. I was half and half not going to show you. And there it is, right? So this was me pictured at my school prom, because this is essentially where it all started, in school. I was one of those kids in school at the age of 13, 14. I was selling sweets. You know, there was a Tesco's on the way back. Pick up a multi-pack of donuts. It was at the time. The school went crazy for donuts for some reason. I picked up a pack for £1, 5 in there, selling them at 50 pence each. I was laughing. You know, I was coming home some weeks with £100 in my back pocket, thinking, this isn't bad, I don't want to grow up. But from then on, I actually understood the value of money, how to earn money, what that could purchase, what that meant for me as in my life, as my life developed. So, as you can see, we actually started in my hometown, which is Skewin in Neath Port Talbot. And as I said, from the very early age in school, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. As I said, I didn't know what. So I was in university studying business management and marketing at the age of 19, and I decided to drop out. I wasn't enjoying it. I didn't really believe that a degree was going to help me get to where I want to be any quicker. And if anything, I was going to waste 3 years of my life learning the theoretical side of business, when in fact, you know what, let's do it. So it was my mother at the time started cleaning, and she felt there was a demand in the cleaning industry. So we began our life, Can Do began essentially as a cleaning company. So we went round cleaning your homes, essentially. And what I found in such a short space of time, it was 12 months, I employed 30 members of staff. We were obviously doing something great, but it was a difficult industry, to say the least. More difficult than laundry. The people I was employing, I didn't want to employ. Wasn't enjoying. It just really wasn't for me. I found that whilst we were cleaning a lot of homes, we were working on such tight margins. You know, I was lucky to walk away with a couple of quid from each clean off each person, and the administration involved in it, it was a nightmare. I found that I was out cleaning, covering for my staff more often than not. So it came to a point where I knew I couldn't sustain. I couldn't sustain a cleaning company. It wasn't for me. I didn't want to go out cleaning, but I still love business. So I had 1,000 square foot unit, as you can see back there, and I decided to diversify. I went to Currys, PC World. I'm sure we all know who they are. I bought a washing machine, tumble dryer, and iron. And literally, that is where the journey began. I decided to find a purpose, and I refocused. I knew exactly what I didn't want to do, so let's concentrate what I do want to do. And for me, anybody who knows me, I'm a stippler to be professional. I love it as if we're a national chain. You won't know the difference. The amount of people that, at that point, came into that store, said, "Are you part of a franchise?" I said, "No, not at all." Thank you for the compliment, though. And yeah, it was great to see. I knew it was a point, I came to a crossroads where I was either going to go back to university, which, as I said, I couldn't see a purpose, or I redefined and refocused. And that was in laundry. I grew the laundry up to the same point at which the cleaning was. And at that point, I decided to ditch the cleaning and solely focus on laundry. And at that point, I obviously don't know anybody's background, but I started with an 8-kilogram washer, very similar dryer. This is where I could only put 4 tablecloths into a washing machine. And we started organically growing and snowballing from there. I'm a people person, foremost, right? I love what I do, and that really shows in everything that I do. Because I found that by doing what I love, the customer service comes naturally. The way that I deal with what I call my can-do family comes naturally. People want to work with me just as much as I want to work with them. It's a two-way street. So, as I said, I redefined my mindset. I rebranded and renewed the purpose. And as you can see, that was done on my mobile phone at the time. I was still a delivery driver at that time. And the Brecon Beacons, if anybody's been to Wales, is absolutely beautiful. And I could not stop to take a photo. So along the way, moving forward, I've been in business for the last 5 years. So I was 19, going on 20. I'm now 25. We are going to have our 6-year anniversary coming in August this year. And I met some really great people along the way. I don't know if anybody recognizes John Hartson. He was a customer of mine domestically for 2 years. And little experiences like that, you know, it just made it all worthwhile, really. I met Mark Constantine from Lush Retail, who is a absolute, well, the amount of money, it looks like a mobile phone number, I can imagine. He's a billionaire. And I am very fortunate to work with an individual like that. I have been on TV. I've met a range of different politicians. Yeah, and the experience is quite something. So essentially, back in September 2017, we relocated. I grew the organization, having ditched the cleaning. I grew the organization to such a scale that we were running 16 hours a day, with 3 20-kilogram washers from JLA. That's not a pun anyway, I'm not plugging them. But it became ridiculous. We were still trying to compete with our local competitors and offer that something different. So I took the opportunity to relocate down to a 6,000 square foot unit in Port Talbot, which is 10 minutes just down the road. I invested £250,000, which was organically funded, into new machinery. We really grew our economies of scale, increasing by 600%. I then decided to, okay, I've got the infrastructure in place now. I wanted to redefine our culture. And for me, the people I work with are my family, quite literally, but non-literally too, in the respect of I treat every single one of my 15 members of staff like they're my family, because it's a two-way street. And what that did, it created a culture, it created a foundation that really helped project Can Do Laundry and Linen to where it is today. Now, with this new facility, it has allowed us to essentially tackle new geographical scopes. We have 4 vehicles, long-wheel vehicles on the road, and essentially every single day, those 4 vehicles go out and they are full. They come back, they are full. Why? Relationships. Relationships, relationships, relationships. I spend a lot of my time networking. I'm a cheeky chap. You don't ask, you don't get. I love that motto. I've knocked on the door using social media as my door knocker to really ask some individuals some cheeky questions. One, can I have a nose around your laundry? And you know what? They said yes. I couldn't believe it. But what I tend to do, I go out and I look for golden nuggets. Any conversation that you have with me is a two-way street, so I'm looking to gather something from you as much as perhaps you were trying to gather something from me. I take every opportunity as a learning opportunity, and I implement it quick, very quick. I want to make change yesterday. I want to grow from £1 million to £5 million in revenue without losing the purpose of margin. At the end of the day, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. I'm sure we've all heard that. And it's important to not mismanage margin. And believe it or not, whatever situation that you're going to go in, customer tries to dictate margin. I refuse, because I don't sell myself short. And you know what? That gains respect. At the very beginning of 19, I had no respect from anyone. And that's a sad fact, but that was very true. I had to earn their respect. And essentially, learning the industry for what it is, and I'm sure everybody has experienced it in a different way to me, I've really been able to capitalize on it in a very acute kind of mindset, because I'm an out-of-the-box kind of thinker. And I've stepped on a couple of toes, which can't be helped. There's no love in business, or not, there's no love. All is fair in love and war, as they always say. And that's so much true in this circumstance now. So for us, where we're going to go in the next 5 years, as I said, we're going to be targeting £5 million worth of revenue. We're going to be operating 3 industrial laundries, each processing anywhere between 100 to 200,000 items a week. We plan to employ between 50 to 75 members of staff. Because for me, if I concentrate on the ripple effect of what we do within the industry, and locally to Port Talbot, by giving something back to the community, the byproduct of that is success. And I feel I've reached that today with only being in the industry for the last 3 years, as I said, no previous experience. Yeah, that's pretty much me, guys. Now, I promised Mark that I'd take some Q&As if anybody wanted to. So, has anybody got a question? Yes.
Right. You're clearly very young and you're clearly very successful and you clearly want to continue. How big would you want to be? Because surely you'd lose some of that personal touch that you hold very dear at the same time.
Yeah, it's a good question. And essentially, the larger that we get, I'm very much aware that in order to be larger, speed, productivity, and the quality will suffer. It's all about management of expectations, essentially management of operations, production, and there's a balance in life. Where do we want to be, or how do we achieve where we want to be without losing our core customers? And for me, there is going to be a trade-off. So we will not, at this moment in time, in the 50,000 items that we produce, we don't provide a reject bag. There's no need to. My staff have been trained to the point where there are so many hands going through it. Okay, it's counterproductive in that respect. But there are so many filters of quality compliance that there's no need for a reject bag. And my customers, I make them understand the value of that. But sorry, to answer your question, there will be a trade-off. Moving forward, the customers that I'm acquiring, their expectations will be managed. And that's all reflective in price point. I'm not just doing it to make more of a margin. I'm doing it to make more volume and maintain the same margins. I hope that's answered your question. Anyway. Anybody else? Any more?
One quick one from me.
Oh, go on then.
Have you got a work-life balance, or is it all work, work, work?
No, for me, I try to have a work-life balance, but I'm sure for many of us, it doesn't exist to a degree. Today's technology with a mobile phone, I can run the organization, or I've developed the organization to run from the cloud. So essentially, I'll be able to operate it from wherever I am, as long as I have some great people on the ground, which I do. It should be fine.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, Dan, thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very
much.